Joe in real life. The 100th day of the great burpee war, the final day, it's over. As I've reported, I crashed my bike a couple days ago. Yesterday's burpees were rough. I barely finished in time. And today I'm in more pain. I can say with no exaggeration, of the 11 years, including the years I dropped, this has been the hardest war. This has been the hardest war I've ever fought. My body hurts. My joints are all fucked up. I don't know that I'm going to do it today. It might be that I fail on the last day. And I wish that was hyperbole. But it isn't. There's a good chance I'm not going to get it done. I'm going to spend the day with my kids. We're going to go swimming. I'm going to try to get my body mobile. What a challenge it's been. I relapsed over this 100 days. I suffered numerous minor injuries. I fought hard to do the bare minimum, more days out of the last 100 than I have in years combined. And yet I also more than ever believe in this project and the efficacy and the point of it. The burpee war is pitiless. It's a commitment, a numbers commitment, a war of attrition that builds on you every day. There is no compromise. There is no, except for the doubling penalty when you miss a single day, which can hardly be called any sort of mercy. There's no reprieve and nowhere to hide. I believe in its beauty more than I ever have. The last year of my life will be a year that I fight in the burpee war, and I know that. I know that completely. As beat up and humbled as I am from the last 100 days, I more than ever believe in this project. So, today, when I get home, I'll do my burpees. Tomorrow, I'll record a post-mortem. I'm gonna keep this channel going. I don't know what it's gonna look like. And then we gotta talk, we gotta assess, we gotta do things for the future. We gotta start thinking about where training's going and why it's going there. I'm excited. I feel like this great burden's about to be lifted, or I'm gonna buckle under it. And I say this with no braggadocio. Both outcomes are equally welcome.
In the movie E.T. when I was a kid and puffing out my stomach and realized that I could wave it, but only in one direction. Okay. Not up. Anyway, the yogis out there can chuckle at that, but
the yogis actually do it to the side.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do that. Anyway, my spinal wave is weak, but I'll work on it. But what I find so interesting about these layers of, I don't want to say sophistication, but these, with evolution came the addition of more pools of opportunity. These motor neuron pools, as they're called, are opportunity to engage in new, more elaborate types of movement. But with each new pool became the opportunity to create combinations of new movement. And so the reason I asked you why spinal waves create one category of movement is that if you touch a fish on one side of its body, it moves to the opposite side. It never moves toward it. But earlier we were doing a practice somewhat similar, testing this similar reflex. And sometimes I or someone will move toward a touch. We don't deviate to the opposite side. So I have this untested, at least formally tested hypothesis that movements of small digits and portions of our distal, as they're called, far from the midline body parts, evoke different sensations, maybe even far more subtle sensations than movements of the core of our body and the the stuff closer to the spine. Again, it's just a theory, but I'm grateful for your answer because it lands at least in the general vector direction of my idea here.
The central orientation is mostly gone from our culture. We don't even walk, basically, these days. If you look at traditional culture, the amount of walking you do on a rest day, it's huge. And so we started to create technologies to bring everything into the periphery, controlling it with the fingertips, etc. So we have incredible neurological development relating to this, but our central patterns, swimming, running, jumping, throwing is not pushing away. That's an example, right? Like
some people, when you give them a ball to throw,
Woo!
You can tell if they
15.
throw like
The end of my 100. Congratulations, burpee warriors. Those of us who made it to the end and those who didn't. I had a day. I went swimming with my kids. I ate pizza. I took a nap. I feel fat and heavy, but I made it well under the time limit. I was exaggerating for sure about the difficulty of it. In the background, I'm listening to Andrew Huberman's podcast with Edo Portal. Highly recommend it. I need a refresh. I need to start thinking about my health and movement in new ways. This is the end of the war, but the channel will continue. Stay tuned tomorrow for our post-mortem. And yeah, as always, I love you shitheads. Be good to each other.